مشاهدينا الكرام، أهلا بكم أينما كنتم إلى هذا اللقاء الخاص الذي يأتيكم عبر قناة البلاد. أسعد كثيرا اليوم باستضافة سعادة سفير اليابان السيد سوزوكي كوتارو في حوار يتناول مختلف جوانب العلاقات الثنائية بين الجزائر واليابان، من الدبلوماسية والسياسة إلى التعاون الاقتصادي ثم البعد الثقافي الذي يجمع بين شعبين بثقافتين عريقتين. نمر اليوم مشاهدينا على محطات جد مهمة في تاريخ هذه العلاقة، ونتوقف عند المستقبل لنناقش فرص تعزيز شراكة الاستراتيجية أكيد بما يخدم المصالح المشتركة. إذن سعادة السفير السيد سوزوكي كوتارو، أهلا بكم وشكرا على قبولكم الدعوة وشكرا أيضا على طيب الاستضافة.
Thank you very much for inviting me for this program and welcome to our residence here.
Thank you. إذن سعادة السفير، لنفتح لقاءنا هذا بالعلاقات الجزائرية اليابانية. عندما نقول الجزائر اليابان نحن نتحدث عن علاقة نشأت تقريبا بعد الاستقلال، فكيف تقيمون هذه أو طبيعة هذه العلاقة؟
Yes. As you mentioned, Japan and Algeria have existed for a very long time in each places, even from before the histories. But the modern relationship between these two countries started in modern times, and specifically in 1958, when the FLN opened its office in the Far East in Tokyo. And immediately after the independence of Algeria in the year 1962, Japan recognized Algeria as a state. And that was the starting point of our relationship, which already extends over 60 years.
فيما يخص سعادة السفير التحديات الراهنة، نحن نعلم أن الجزائر تلعب دورا فاعلا في مجلس الأمن، خاصة بالدفاع عن القضايا العادلة. نحن نتحدث عن القضية الفلسطينية، فكيف تقيمون دور الجزائر من جهة، وما هو موقف اليابان تجاه القضية الفلسطينية؟
Yes, in our relationship of more than 60 years, many things happened in the world. And I personally think in this century, the world is getting more and more difficult place to live in for most of the world, for most of the countries, including Japan and Algeria. So, United Nations, the Security Council is supposed to deal with all the issues in the world which relates to peace and stability, peace and security of the world. And in that, as you mentioned, Algeria has been playing an important role as its non-permanent member since last year. Yeah. And fortunately, Japan, up to last year, has also the non-permanent membership in that council. So our colleagues in New York had very much appreciated our constructive cooperation in that arena with Algeria, because Algeria always played with its voice of conscience and thinking about the balance and consensus of all the member states, which is getting, quite honestly, more and more difficult in our turbulent world.
نعم سعادة السفير، نحن نعلم أن اليابان دولة يعني تقريبا لديها دور إنساني فاعل، خاصة يعني عبر مختلف المؤسسات الدولية. كيف تسهم لربما اليوم بلادكم في دعم الشعوب المتضررة، نصرة المظلومين أيضا يعني عبر أو في مختلف بقاع العالم؟
I see. So first of all, as you mentioned, that Japan has well tried to contribute to the peace and happiness of the people in the world without using, as much as possible any military force. So our contribution usually rely on bilateral development assistance in the economic government assistance, and also through various international organizations. Each one of them has the expertise and the specialties. So these are very important tools for the international community. And since you mentioned Palestine,
Yeah.
we have Palestine now stands out as the symbolic, phenomenon of tragedy, continuing even to our century. So for Palestine, we have done our share of contribution for this. The long-standing issue. We have provided to Palestine $2.6 billion worth assistance, including the development assistance. We have been supporting them through UNRWA and other bilateral tools. And since October 7th, we have provided them, just like Algerians, we have provided the emergency humanitarian aid. We need a lot more political, momentum to solve this issue. But like Algeria, we are struggling to support the people.
بالنسبة للأوضاع في المنطقة العربية، كيف تنظر إليها الحكومة اليابانية، أو بالأحرى كيف تقرأ الحكومة اليابانية هذا المشهد، ولربما ما هي تقديراتها؟
The Arab region of Arab countries as a whole.
Yeah.
Arab countries,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So of course, Palestinian issue is comes first, but we observe, as you know, that there are many regional conflicts not being solved and remaining for more than 10 years, like in Syria, in Yemen, in Libya. So this is a very, very, very tragic situation for the region, because if these are, somewhat stabilized, then the people in the region can think about and prepare for further development of the region. So this region, with some stability and peace, can achieve a lot more prosperity. But before that, things should be settled. Should be solved, because there's something called justice to be thought about.
Yeah. نمر الآن للجانب الاقتصادي. ما هي لربما أهم المحاور التي بنيت عليها العلاقات الاقتصادية اليابانية الجزائرية؟
اليابانية والجزائرية. Okay.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, when our relationship started in the 1960s, it was Japan was young after the war. Algeria was a young country. So it was a very romantic period. And in the year 1964, we held the first Olympic Games in Tokyo. And in the year 1970, we held the International Exposition in Osaka. And to both of these events, international events, thankfully Algeria participated as an independent country. So, but in the meantime, from the 1960s to 70s, a lot of Japanese companies came here to participate in the development of the young Algeria. So infrastructure, in the oil and gas sector, and so on. Actually, this existence of the hydrocarbon resource is the big characteristic of of Algeria. So, looking back, our economic relationship, what you call the axis was always this hydrocarbon sector. But it was not limited to that, but included the construction, road building, or even some port facilities and so on, electricity. And it has developed. Nowadays, it includes some other sectors like pharmaceutical or telecommunication. So it's a
نعم سعادة سفير، فيما يخص المبادلات التجارية، هل يمكنكم أن تقدموا لنا حجم هذه المبادلات التجارية، يعني خاصة في السنوات الأخيرة؟
Okay. So actually, I must admit that the size of the volume of the bilateral trade itself is not so actually big.
Yeah.
To put the figure for the last year, Japan exported to Algeria $140 million. in machinery or some other products. And on the other hand, we imported from Algeria only 90 million dollars worth, mostly the oil, gas, and some fuels. So the size of the volume is not so much.
من خلال نظرتكم للسوق الجزائرية، ما هي لربما أهم القطاعات أو بالأحرى المنتجات التي تستثمر فيها الشركات اليابانية اليوم بالسوق الجزائرية؟
I see. Okay. From the eyes of the Japanese companies, Algerian market, yes, I must say that it's a huge market.
Yeah.
With its big population and with its big land, everyone, regards Algeria as a country with a huge potential. This is the first thing. Second thing is that, okay, as you know, that the current Algerian government's policy is very clear to promote, it's trying to promote its own domestic industry, especially the manufacturing.
Yeah.
So, which does not, place the Algerian market as a market for, third-party country like Japan, as a market for the what is called the final consumer goods. Final consumer goods are the things we use, like automobiles, like electric appliances.
Yes.
So these things, Algerian government put a priority to be able to produce them themselves. So, where are the Japanese companies? Japanese companies respect this policy. So, whenever possible, of course, we are ready to, offer our products for the consumers here.
Yeah.
But instead, there are many possibilities for the Algerian manufacturers use our machineries and technologies to produce better things, Algerian-made. Yeah. So, in order to, be able to produce things, of course, you need raw material. You have to you need some wood to make this chair. But this is not the only thing. But you need some machinery to carve this out from the wood.
Yeah.
For that, Japanese machineries are now. We can be proud that its quality and its technology. So this is one thing. Second thing, sector-wise, yes, of course, we are also thinking that the hydrocarbon sector is important, and it will continue to be so for next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But there's a future after that. So renewable energy, including the solar energy or wind, but especially the green hydrogen, for which Algeria has a lot of conditions already set. So, not only the Japanese companies, but also companies from across the world are watching the development of this market.
بعد صدور قانون الاستثمار الجديد في الجزائر، كيف تقيمون بيئة الاستثمار حاليا؟
Okay, so the investment environment. Well, the overall picture is that Algeria has seen a lot of improvement, and also under the current regime of President Tebboune, it has been, making a lot of effort to eliminate the corruption and to make the systems and rules more transparent. So we appreciate this. And of course, there are a lot of new measures going on. Like you mentioned, the amendment of the new investment law and other related measures. So we are looking with very much favorable feeling about these efforts the current government is making. We are optimistic about the possibility of this country to be more and more friendly to the external investment.
Yes. إذن سعادة السفير السيد سوزوكي كوتارو، نشكركم على كل هذه المعلومات. نواصل هذا الحوار لكن بعد هذا الفاصل القصير. إذن مشاهدينا نلتقي وإياكم بعد هذا الفاصل. إذا مشاهدينا الكرام نعود إليكم من جديد لمواصلة هذا اللقاء الخاص مع سعادة سفير دولة اليابان السيد سوزوكي كوتارو للحديث عن التعاون في مجالات التكنولوجيا والبحث العلمي، بعدما تحدثنا عن العلاقات الثنائية بين الدولتين سواء من الجانب السياسي الدبلوماسي والاقتصادي. إذن سعادة السفير، فيما يخص التعاون في مجالات التكنولوجيا والبحث العلمي، هل هناك اليوم شراكات بين المعاهد والمؤسسات الجامعية الجزائرية في المجال التقني؟
There are a number of these cooperation between the universities and the institutes, but they are quite often done on an individual basis. For example, I recently visited NABA, and there is an MOU between NABA University and the University of Tsukuba. It is of general, nature, but I know that there has been a long history of cooperation, especially in the architecture and urban planning between the two universities.
Yeah.
Or, for example, we are aware that between the University of Tlemcen and Kyoto University in Japan, there's also a cooperation in the field of the water resources management. So on these specific issues, the students and scholars of both countries cooperate even now.
يعني سعادة السفير، هل تخصص اليابان منح خاصة للطلبة الجزائريين، وهل هناك برامج بحثية مثل الGST والرايكن؟
Okay. The two institutes you mentioned, JST or RIKEN, they are the science and technology related organizations Japan is proud of, but because they are specialized, institutes, they do not, openly recruit its scholars. It's picked up, on individual basis. Having said that, about the scholarship, Japanese government extend the, all over the world, government scholarship for studying in Japan, both at the undergraduate level and also the postgraduate, masters and doctors, and so on. So, and recent years, we have also another scheme, which is called Abe Initiative, which connects the studying in Japanese university with at the master degree with the internship in Japanese companies. So, of course, the Algerian students are eligible for both of these schemes. So, every year our embassy announced these scholarship, and so we are now selecting which application we would. So on average, between 7 and 10 Algerian only are going to Japan, but it happens every year, and a lot of application we receive. It's very competitive, but if you are ambitious, then please apply for these.
Yes. هل التعاون في هذه المجالات سيتوسع إلى مجالات أخرى مثل الذكاء الاصطناعي، الطاقات، أو حتى لربما الطاقات المتجددة والروبوتات؟
Okay. So all the fields you mentioned are top of the notch. It's very fashionable in the world.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
renewable energy, robotics. All the talented students are competing to do study in this, and Algeria is not the exception. As a matter of fact, we already have Algerian students learning in Japan in each of these fields: renewable energy, artificial intelligence, robotics and control engineering, and even the space technology related satellites. All we have Algerian students learning in Japan.
هل يمكن أن نشهد حضورا حقيقيا لصناعة السيارات اليابانية في الجزائر؟
صناعة السيارات. Okay. So, from the Japanese automobile makers' point of view, Algeria is also a very, very attractive market. Not only because of the size of its population, but this is a very big country which is very suitable for the transport. And we are thankful for the, clientship of the Algerian people for our some brand of our cars. But having said that, currently I think that the Japanese car makers are studying the possibility of investment in this country to assemble the cars here. So we will continue to study these possibilities along with the companies, and we will also continue to make dialogue with the Algerian government to make the best solution in these things.
Yeah.
So this is my answer.
لو نتحدث الآن سعادة السفير
Yes.
عن التسويق، كيف تروج اليابان لثقافتها في بلدان العالم، إفريقيا، الجزائر تحديدا؟
Okay. So about the culture, it has, culture in our views, of course the government assists the culture, but in our mindset, culture is not where the government, leads and do this and do this. We do not have this tradition. In our case, culture was always, independent from the government sector. So, of course, we try to assist our culture, unique culture, traditional culture, and also the so-called pop culture, but it's from the side. So this is our general policy.
Yeah.
And on this continent, yes, it's a vast continent, but it's so far from Japan. So we are trying our best to, whenever possible, as a government or embassies to assist these. But the so-called Japanese cultural centers, we have only one or two on this whole continent. We do not have many of this kind of thing. It's different from, the case of French or British or Germany. But we'll do our best. And here in Alger, our embassy is trying to to introduce a glimpse of our culture whenever possible.
سعادة السفير، في نقطة الثقافة، يعني هل هناك مبادرات أو تظاهرات ثقافية من قبل دولة اليابان لإبراز الثقافة اليابانية، يعني خاصة تعلم اللغة اليابانية؟
So talking about the cultural events, some of the audience may be interested in the pop culture called manga or anime or even the games. We are thankful that our Japanese mangas have also wide audiences in Algeria too. And in this context, actually, we know that there's an event called FIVDA, which is Festival International pour Bande Dessinée Alger, every year held in Alger. And as our embassy participates in this festival for some years, from last year we are conducting something called Japanese Algeria manga concours. So now we are opening the application for this. So whoever of you who like to draw can put your application for this. So in October at the festival, we will announce the winner of this concours. And talking about manga, this is a sample of the Japanese manga translated in French. And this is a bande dessinée. This is based on Yasmina Khadra's roman. And we can see that this manga is not about Japan. It's almost a imagined world, fantasy world. And although I served once as an ambassador in Iraq, most of the Japanese or French people have never seen Iraq. But the artists imagine how it would be. And these all these pictures help us to imagine and understand the story. This is the strength of this visual, I mean the style of art. All these pictures help you to understand and to imagine the world or country where you have never been. And so my message is that manga subject does not need to be in Japan. So Algerian creators can create their own stories in the shape of manga. So this is my message for the creators of Algeria. Yes, about the Japanese language, we know that in Alger and Oran there are language schools which have the course for Japanese language. And we have provided some materials, books on Japan, the Japanese language, to the universities of Constantina and Alger, the second university. Also, we from time to time, send the Algerian language teachers to train for Japanese language education. Our organization called Japan Foundation has on its website the open course for Japanese language, self-learning, so anyone can have access to it. So please check Japan Foundation. On this topic, Japanese embassy has every year will conduct Japanese language speech contest. So there are a number of Algerian students who make their performance in this contest.
Good.
So if you are interested, please inquire us.
Okay. شهدنا مؤخرا مشاركة يابانية لافتة في التظاهرات الجزائرية مثل أيام الموسيقى الدولية الذي أقيم في أفريل. هل شعرتم بتفاعل الجزائريين تجاه الثقافة اليابانية؟
I see. Okay. So yes, on top of our own events, sometimes Japanese artists participate in the international cultural festivals of this kind, like you mentioned, the music. Symphonic music festival in April in Alger, or even last year there was international Malouf music festival in Constantina, and one Japanese female singer who learned to sing Malouf participated in it. So I was surprised to have such an artist in Japan, and also I received a very good reception from the Algerian audience too.
Yeah, good. كيف ترون مستقبل العلاقات اليابانية الجزائرية؟ يعني هل ستكون هناك اتفاقيات استراتيجية تعزز وتقوي هذه الروابط؟
Okay, so this is my personal opinion, but as the term strategic partnership, it's very fashionable, and I observe that there are some countries in the world which have virtually with every country the so-called strategic partnership. But I think that it is not in the title. It's about the substance of the relationship. I mean, well, Japan and Algeria has a very important and unique role in each of the regions they belong. Okay, so I think that because the world is less, more and more smaller in communication and in the interaction of the people, this bilateral relationship will absolutely develop and into a deeper and wider relationship in various fields. Having said that, in my idea, relationship between two countries are not the only the government's relationship. It's a relationship in various fields and between the people. So every tourist, Algerian tourist coming to Japan, or the Japanese businessmen working here, they are the contents of the relationship. So if they are expanded, the relationship is richer and wider and stronger.
Yeah.
So this is what I have in mind as a Japanese diplomat.
سعادة السفير، تحدثنا قبل قليل عن اهتمام الجزائريين بالثقافة اليابانية. لو نتحدث الآن عن السياح اليابانيين، يعني هل هناك اهتمام متزايد من قبل السياح اليابانيين باكتشاف الجزائر، لربما منطقة الصحراء بشكل خاص؟ وكيف تقيمون التعاون في مجال السياحة بين البلدين الجزائر واليابان؟
Okay, but still I have witnessed since I came here. This country is a huge country with a lot of variety of local cultures and natural landscape and also the history. This is a very rich country and it has a huge potential for the tourism. That much, all my colleagues in the diplomatic circle agree. Actually, European ambassadors and Asian ambassadors, they all agree about this. So I think that the horizon is very broad. And as for the Japanese tourists, well, I think that you mentioned the Sahara.
Yeah.
Okay, that could be very attractive to Japanese tourists, but think about it. European tourists come to the Sahara desert. Because they know the Mediterranean, but can you imagine that most of the Japanese people have never seen Mediterranean itself, or the Atlantic Ocean for that matter. So for them, for the beginners, the coastal cities like Alger, like Oran, like Constantina, they are, amazing enough.
Good.
Yeah.
كسؤال أخير سيدي، ربما من خلال معايشتكم للتقاليد الجزائرية، ما الذي أثار انتباهكم يعني على وجه الخصوص؟
This is a big and very difficult question. Because I have never visited Algeria before I came here, every aspect of the culture, history, and the society I'm curious about. And especially, I'm impressed by the, multi-layered historical, the phase of this country makes it a very interesting place. So, as I said at the outset, this country dates back to before the history. So, yes, the the prehistoric, the culture to the era of Phoenicians, Romans, and after that, the days of the Ottomans and the Barbarossa brothers, Romantic period, to the days of the colonial period. Of course, there was a development of the cultural, and academic Western culture and knowledge. But after that, the heroic stories of the heroes of the independence, and after the independence. So this variety in terms of the history, and also as a variety, geographic variety of this country, are all fascinating to me. So.
What about the traditional foods or?
Traditional food?
Yeah,
I love tasting. Actually, Algerian food is very, very, I think that my friends in Japanese would love the Algerian food because mainly it's full of vegetables and some meat and and boiled. We Japanese like this kind of taste.
إذن سعادة السفير، شكرا لكم على كل هذه المعلومات، شكرا على قبولكم الدعوة، ومرة أخرى شكرا على طيب الاستضافة هنا بمقر سفارة دولة اليابان.
أهلا وسهلا.
إذن بهذا مشاهدينا نصل وإياكم إلى ختام هذا اللقاء الخاص مع سعادة سفير دولة اليابان السيد سوزوكي كوتارو. إلى اللقاء.